Hello everybody! Welcome to Agashi Review, where I review movies, dramas that you don't want to waste your time watching. I'll give you a synopsis, shorts review, along with my thoughts and opinions. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Now let's go into the review. Hello everybody, Agashi here today. So today I'm back with another K-drama review, and this drama is called Secret Royal Inspector and Joy. And it's kind of obvious why, you guys know why I watch it. It's Taecyeon, and I've seen the trailer and everything, and it looks just so hilarious. I was just so excited for it. The last drama I was watching was him and Vincenzo, and he was the bad guy. So it's like, oh my god, like Taecyeon playing the bad guy now, he's the good guy, and he's in historical time period. So very looking forward to seeing how this drama turns out, and I was able to watch the first 2 episodes of it. So I'm gonna go over the cast synopsis and the first 2 episodes with you guys. So we're just gonna jump right into it. This drama airs on Monday and Tuesday, and it's a total of 16 episodes. And as for our cast, we have Taecyeon playing Ra-Young, Kim Hae-yoon playing Kim Jo-hee, and then Lee Jae-kyung playing Park Tae-so, Min Ji-won playing Yuk-chul, Park Kang-sung playing Go-pal, Baek Jong-ok playing Dok-bang, and Cho Kwang-woo as the king. And there's tons of other people, like a lot of other people like involved in everything. So as for our synopsis, a secret royal inspector works as an undercover official who inspects local province to expose corruptions. Young ends up teaming up with a lady who searches for happiness after getting divorced with her husband. The duo then go on a grand scheme to discover the truth and find corruptions within province of Korea and everything like that. Young wants to open a dumpling store outside of the capital. However, he's very clever. He passes the state exam and he becomes an official of part of the Office of Special Affairs and Advisors or something like that for the palace. And he finds himself receiving secret missions to carry out as the secret inspector. And Kim Jo-hee is an under-ordinary woman lady, and she disliked during the Joseon era of how women suffers in silence during their marriage and all this stuff like that. So she supports divorces. She was not happy with her marriage, so she got a divorce, and she's passionate about it, and she's always ahead of her time and always on top of everything. So as for recap on the first 2 episodes, this drama starts us off with a boat in the middle of the sea, and someone gets killed. An accountant book or ledger book gets taken away, and turns out it's a secret royal inspector who gets killed, and his seal falls out of his hand. Then it flashes to see Ra-Young talking to his dog, while he's washing seaweed. He loves to cook. And his 2 servants comes running out to him, telling him there's no time to watch seaweed. You have to go to work. It's his first day as a royal chief secretary at the palace. He's not dressed. He races to the palace, and before the door closes, he can't go in. His servants are like helping him put his clothes on the way, and it's just hilarious how they like portray this scene. And he spends the days, like couple days and all his every days at the palace doing his work, and he overhears like other secretaries or like clerks or people that work there with him talk about a missing secret royal inspector. When we learn that Young is actually very smart, and he has something to tie back with the crown prince before the crown prince died. A very dark mystery of him that we don't know of yet. But for Young, he just wants to be a chef. He just wants to cook. He doesn't want anything to do with the royal family or be a part of it anymore. But he's very, very intelligent. And since this royal inspector is missing, it's brought up to the king's attention that they need to pick a new one. Young is chosen, and he is sent to Cheongchong province, and this is where we get introduced to Kim Jo-hee, who is living there with her husband and her mother-in-law. She's asking for a divorce, so pretty much she was forced into her marriage at the age of 21, and being married for 3 years, she's not happy. Her husband is always off gambling, and her mother-in-law doesn't treat her well, so she's not happy with it, and she's like working like a slave with him, and she wants like woman power and everything like that. So she brought up like the petition to the his he's a, I don't know, he's this higher up of their little land in a village, and the case has been going on for days now, and then her witness keeps disappearing, you know. So as the case is being, like, her divorce case is being held off the next day, she goes off to visit her friend Hwang Bori, and learns that Hwang Bori is actually pregnant with, like, the head guy of the village's baby, who, like, does all the decision making and everything, and she's willing to become his concubine. Joy is excited for her and wishes the best for her friend. She asks Bori to come tomorrow to be her witness to testify against her husband and her mother-in-law about her husband's gambling issues and how they treat her. So we do see that Joy isn't treated well by her husband all the time and her mother-in-law. Like, her husband is a coward and he's like a mama's boy. He's always hiding behind his mom, and she does everything. She takes care of everything. So she's like, she does everything for her mother-in-law and her husband, and she's always being yelled at. Plus Joy has a temper, and so she doesn't really watch what comes out of her mouth. So she doesn't hold back her tongue at all. So the next day, Bori didn't show up to the trial. Joy's divorce gets pushed again, and she goes to look for Bori, and Eong arrives with his two servants. So to not spill his cover that he's a secret royal inspector, because the previous one died, and basically you're supposed to be very secretive when you go and inspect other villages and other towns and stuff like that, so they don't know. So he dresses up his servant Yuk-chul, who looks like the Lord, and Eong becomes a servant, and he goes by the name Bakduk. So the three of them makes a stop at Bori's place first to eat a meal, because she's like one of the best cook in town, and they run into Joy. The three of them gets involved with Joy, and they find out that Bori is dead at the stream, and her body is brought up and everything, and taken away to burn, you know. So women's rumors are just like she went to do laundry and she slipped and she fell into the stream. Joy is upset as she didn't get to do a proper funeral for Bori, and Bori was also pregnant, and they just like burn her. Sorry, doing yard work. So that's all in the background. But yeah, so like the head guy, village guy, he races off to the shore after, like, he tells his people just burn Bori's body. There's a fisherman who fished out the secret royal inspector, Park Moon-kyung, who has been missing. That's the one that everybody was talking about, that he's been missing, you know. And the body is taken back and quickly to burn, you know, because the ledger, the account book, and all this stuff like that that's revolving around, there's something wrong with it, you know. And Eong was just about to leave, you know, but he gets involved. Like, he can't wrap his head around what's going on and all these loopholes that is going on right now in the village he's in, and he's determined to solve this case. So he starts to secretly invest, using Yuk-chul as the Lord to go around ask questions, so that he can secretly do his inspecting, reading people, watching what's going on, and pretty much all these things like that. And as they continue to gather more information and seek out people in the village to help, Eong finally fills in the missing hole. So with Bori being dead, Joy goes and burns her stuff so that she can take on with her into the afterlife. She ends up finding the account book, and she burns it, like the ledger book, she burns it like partial of it already. And so since Bori was so in love with this guy, he ended up giving her a ledger book to hide, and they were gonna run away together. So whoever found out that she got it killed her eventually, because she was hiding and they couldn't find it, you know. So Joey doesn't know much, but she sees the seal stamp in the account book, and she realizes, like, that head guy who was a part of it. So she goes and threatens him, saying that, like, if he doesn't grant her divorce, she's not gonna return the account book to him. He agrees to grant her divorce in trade for the account book. So the next day is the final decision on her divorce and her husband's divorce. The head guy, he agrees to it, to give them both divorce. And as they're about to sign the divorce paper, and before the seal was stamped on there to approve their divorce, Eong arrives and announces himself as the secret royal inspector. And when he reveals out, like, that he's that, everybody's like afraid of it, and they start running and all stuff like that. He reveals out the truth that this head guy, he has been laundering money, and when the previous inspector, Park Moon-kyung, was closing in on him, they got him killed. And there's more, but there's actually more to it that Young doesn't know, and he's slowly closing in on it. Eventually he's gonna find out about the book, and he will confiscate all of the money and everything, even the seal. And so Joy interrupts that her divorce paper hasn't been stamped, and she needs that to be stamped so she could leave. You know, if he confiscate everything, she's not gonna get her divorce, and she's gonna end up living with them, continue to live with them. So her mother-in-law ends up ripping up her papers and continues saying that, oh, Joy will live with us and she will stay my daughter-in-law. But previously, when Joy met Young, she gave him the her petition for her divorce for him to review. He reviewed it, he wrote a new one, and he used the seal to stamp it, and she's free to go, you know. So, and it's like hilarious because she's like, what the hell, like she's been treating him like trash, like he's a servant all along, and she learned that he's actually the actual lord, the actual inspector, and she's been like treating him like crap the whole time, you know. So she does get her divorce at the end of episode 2, and she's off to live her life, and looks like Young is going to stay longer to invest more, because it seems like there's more going to be popping up or showing up within their village. But that is the recap of the first 2 episodes, and really looking forward to see how it's going to turn out. Obviously, from the looks of it, like, I'm not sure if they're going to fall in love with each other. I don't really have that vibe, but I feel like it's gonna happen anyways, because she's a woman, she speaks her mind, and I think she's gonna do really well in terms of the inspecting, like, all these researching for all these crime and all these stuff like that. She's gonna do really well in it, because she's that type of person. She looks at everything, and she does her investigation, all that stuff like that. So she's gonna be a very good partner to Young. More so Young, he's more like a relaxed guy, and he doesn't really care about those things. He doesn't let it bother him, but eventually it's gonna, you know, they're gonna get involved, and she's gonna jump onto the team, and they're gonna go and investigate all these things together, and they're gonna be like great together. So that's what it looks like from the previews and the synopsis and everything. But the first 2 episodes, the first episode doesn't give you much, but the second episode was really, like, it's hilarious. It got you really into the story and everything. So I do look forward to see how it's gonna turn out. And at the same time, I know I don't want to be competing them, but Taecyeon and Juno both have their historical drama coming out at the same time. So I watched this one first, and I did finish the Red Sleeve, which had Juno in there, and I'm going to review that one next. And both drama are playing at the same time, so I really... one is very hilarious, and the other is very melodramatic, kind of like painful to watch. So we'll see how they both turn out, but I really do like it. If you guys have not checked out Secret Royal Inspector and Joy, do check it out. It's really good. I really like it. It's hilarious. But that's it for today's drama review, and I will see you guys next time.